recording.
Hello, everybody. My name is Professor Claudia Rinaldi, and I'm the chair of the education program. And this is our Pathways to Diversity mentoring session. And today we have three guests with us today. One is our project coordinator, Professor Edna Barreto, and then we also have Emily Casella and Sabrina Verge, who are students at LaSalle in different programs. So why don't you introduce yourself and tell us your major and any particular thing that you might want to just share as part of the introduction is good. Go ahead, Emily.
Yeah, so my name is Emily Casella. I am a junior at LaSalle University. I'm a psychology major. I am a part of the honors program at LaSalle. I'm a commuter. I work on campus as well as in admissions as a Blue Key Society member. And I'm also part of LaSalle Works too.
Okay, great. That's wonderful. So that's a lot of things that you're doing. And we'll get to those in a few minutes. Sabrina, go ahead. Sorry, Edna, what?
I was asking Emily if she has time to eat. That's important.
Sometimes.
Hi, my name is Sabrina Duverge Cortez. I am a secondary education and English major with a Spanish minor. I'm a junior as well. I'm also a commuter. And I'm a part of Pathways to Diversity on campus. I'm also a peer advisor, and I'm also a peer tutor on campus.
And then my question to you too, do you have time to eat?
Occasionally.
Okay, good.
So that is wonderful. And like Sabrina said, both of these young ladies are part of our Pathways to Diversity mentoring program. The Pathways to Diversity mentoring program is a program that we started at LaSalle 5 years ago to provide some recommendations, mentoring, and leadership for high school students who are looking to go into college but may not have the advice or the recommendations or the ideas or know how to navigate how to get to college in effective ways. So today we bring you the students who are the ones who have gone through this process, because Edna and I went through that process long ago. So we want to make sure you get the latest information on how they made it here. What does it mean to do each one of their jobs that they are doing? And I think one of the things that you'll see is that participating in the college life in the way that they have is really important. So why don't we begin with Sabrina? Sabrina, why don't you tell us a little bit about what it's been like to be a commuter coming onto a campus that is, that has commuters and students who live on our campus. So why don't you share a little bit about that?
So I'm from Cambridge, Massachusetts. So I grew up just taking the train and the bus everywhere. So I kind of knew where LaSalle was because it's like between the last two stops on the D train for the Green Line. So I took the train the first 2 years, my freshman and sophomore year. Professors are super nice about commuting students, especially people that take the train, I think, in my experience. Just because delays on the MBTA are absolutely horrible. So I planned accordingly. I would leave, I would make sure that I would plan to be there 30 minutes early in case there were any delays, but delays can be anywhere from 15, 20 to an hour if you know the MBTA. So yeah, it was definitely kind of ties into time management, I guess, for that part of it. I would also say now that I drive to campus, it's a lot different navigating traffic because I didn't grow up driving. I hate driving. So it's been interesting, but yeah, that's been my experience, I think, with commuting in general. I think also there's a part of being a commuter student where you feel slightly excluded at the beginning because, you don't get that experience of moving in and you meet people by chance a lot more often because people are on campus more often. But I think commuter students also have their own community on campus. We have the IC3 on campus, which is the diversity, basically a house of diversity, but also commuter students. So yeah, we have our own kind of basement section where we kind of just chill, hang out. I go there to do my homework a lot because there's almost not a lot of people there most of the time. but you do catch a few people, so it's good to interact with them as well. But yeah.
Great, Sabrina. That is true. Navigating the transportation system, whether driving or taking the bus in an urban area, it does take time management, right? And it takes patience from professors, and that is one aspect of a small school that could be very helpful as you consider college. Is, are you going to be in a lecture hall with 100 or 200 people, and would the professor be flexible enough to know that, or care that you're there, and or in smaller campuses, of course, then you would talk to your professor, and it's a much more intimate experience. So, they might be more in tune to kind of helping you figure out how to get there on time and what you need. But driving is also an adjustment, right, Sabrina? Especially if you don't like it. But it certainly helps with time. And I know she used to spend a lot of time. You spend a lot of time on the train. So thinking about what time you set aside for studying and completing your assignments could get kind of tricky as well. But living at home has a lot of benefits. So let's see what Emily has to share with us today.
Yeah, so I actually love being a commuter. Like, it's really nice to have a separation between my school life and then like my home life as well. So it's kind of nice to, be on campus pretty much all day. Like, I'm on campus usually like from morning to like night because I'm always doing something. But then I get to go home afterwards and like I'm home, like I'm no longer at school. So I really appreciate that separation between the two. And I think it just kind of allows me to be like, I'm at home now. Like, I'm not at school anymore. Like, it's kind of nice to have that. But as you mentioned, Sabrina, it can be like difficult sometimes. Like, this actually happened to me like just last week. I was driving to school and there was like a major car accident on the highway, and I was like bumper to bumper, like barely moving. And it's really great because, as you mentioned, like the professors are really understanding about it. And I've noticed that as well. Like, I just basically gave my professor a call, because usually professors like put their numbers out on Canvas or like on the syllabus or whatever the case may be. And I just gave her a call and I said, hey, like I'm running late. Like, there's an awful accident on the highway. And she said, no problem. You get here when you get here. Like, I understand. So it's really great to like have that like understanding between me and my professors, like that they're like aware that like things happen, like that we can't control. So it's really great to have that. And it's just awesome to be able to live that separation between school and home. And I really enjoy it. And as you mentioned, Sabrina, as well, like you do feel like there might be some like, that you're not included in everything because you are a commuter. But I found like the more involved I am on campus, like the more people I get to know, the more, professors I get to meet, and I get to do like all these amazing events and everything. So even if you're a commuter, like you can still attend all of these great events that LaSalle has to offer. And there's always tons of them. I mean, I was looking on laser involvement and there was like 6 or 7 events happening like just this week. So it's just important to like, even if you are a commuter, it's like important to remember to like stay involved on campus and like to attend events and like get involved and like join clubs and like be on e-boards or work on campus. Like, there's so many options for you to like fill that void that you might feel a little bit of like not living on campus.
I do want to
Fantastic.
say, yeah, I want to say something to them because, it's interesting to see like you are commuters, but also you have so many activities going on through your day, plus your classes. So I think this ties really nicely into the time management. And how does this compare to what you used to do in high school and what you do now in college? Because, I know I joked a little bit about like, do you have time to eat? Like, do you eat? And is that part of like, how do you manage your time? That I think we would like to hear you share a little bit of how, like in Emily's case, it is at LaSalle from morning to dawn, and from, Sabrina with older mentoring and peer mentoring and all this stuff. How do you guys manage your time? Do you have certain strategies that you use? Do you have a calendar? I think that is something that our high school students might be really interested in seeing, because it's very overwhelming to know that you're going to college, and then on top of that you are going to have to take classes, but you are also able to do extracurricular stuff, and it seems like so much. Does any one of you would like to share that? Let's go with Emily, and then we'll go with Sabrina. How about that?
All right. So I was really overwhelmed, especially like my freshman year, because I didn't join any clubs or anything. I was like, no, I can't take anything on. Like, I'm so stressed out. But like, I wish that I joined more clubs freshman year, if I'm being completely honest, because like there is time to do that. And what I appreciate about like club meetings and everything is that they're very flexible, and like a lot of my clubs that I'm in currently are meeting bi-weekly. So like some clubs you don't even meet once a week. It might be just like once every 2 weeks. And club meetings are usually in like the evening. So like I had a club meeting last night that was at 7:30. And like that works perfectly because I don't have classes at 7:30 at night. So it's great because like when you're a part of a club, like they work with you on your schedule. Like they try to make sure that whatever they pick for their schedule will work for the majority of the people. So like it was stressful for me to like think about joining clubs freshman year, but like then I eventually did. And like I'm like, oh, this is like great. Like I love this. And like for classes, I mean, I love the college like class structure instead of the high school like class structure, because when you're in high school you're in a building for literally the whole day like 6.5 hours or whatever. I know for me it was 6.5 hours. I was in the same building, like we did not leave that one building, and we were there for the entire day. But when it comes to like college classes, like it's broken up. So like you don't meet with the same teachers every single day, Monday through Friday. You might have a class that's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday. So it really like varies, and like you're not like stuck in one building, which I appreciate. And it can be like stressful to like be like, oh, like I have this class on this day and this one on that one. For me, I make schedules every single week. I literally have like a little whiteboard and I write everything down, even if it's like just my classes, which I have like pretty much memorized at this point because it's like, kind of towards the end of the semester, but I still write every single thing down on my whiteboard and I keep it on my desk. So I literally see it every single morning. I see it every night. So I know exactly what's going on. And I do that every single week. And if anything changes, I just add it to my whiteboard or I take it off my whiteboard, whatever it may be. But like for me, that's how I like manage taking all of these classes and being a part of all these clubs and working and like all of the above, like literally everything. I just write it all down to make sure that I'm on top of it and that I look at it every day and I see it every day and make sure that like I can get there. I know what I'm doing. And I mean, like I said, it can be like stressful to like look at your schedule and be like, wow, like I'm literally going to be on campus from morning to night. Like I have things going on the entire day. But it gets to a point where like you do have like those little breaks in between. And that's like usually like when I eat personally. But like you have those little breaks in between and you make it work. And like, and if you're like struggling with time management too, like you can always reach out to like professors and like they can help you with that type of stuff. Or if you need an extension on an assignment, like be honest, like don't just not do the assignment, like be honest about the assignment. Or even like our academic achievement center, like they can help you with time management as well. So there's ways to like work around it. So like I know some people are like, schedules, ew, no, I don't want to have to sit down and make a whole schedule for the whole week. I personally am just like obsessed with schedules and love it. And like, that's what helps me. But like for other people, it might be something completely different, but there's always ways to like remember what's going on and keep it organized. So I think part of like time management is just being organized like with what you have to do. So that way you don't forget about something, or you don't like, you just forget about a class and you don't show up. Like it's important to be organized with like what you're doing.
Wonderful. I think I can't live without my calendar as well and alerts. So I completely agree with you, Emily. What about you, Sabrina? What are some organizational and time management strategies that you could share with our high school mentees?
Yeah, in high school I was not involved like at all. Um, I was very like I went to a really small high school, but I still wasn't involved. I didn't really do much. And then I got to college and I like did a 180. I don't even know how, but it happened. Um, so for me personally, I like to get up early in the mornings. So that's kind of my thing. Like I'll get up early. I'll get to school at like 7:30 or 8 o'clock. And then I have all this time because I usually start my shifts around 9 o'clock. So I'll have like an hour and a half. And what I usually do is, especially Monday mornings, I'll sit down with my agenda and I'll kind of go through like what assignments I have due for the week. And then I'll kind of plan out just like when assignments are due, when I should probably start working on them, things like that. And then I'll get started on assignments early. Like if I have the time, I'll do it. Like that's kind of my thing. Especially like with clubs, like Emily said, like clubs happen in the evening. So if you're a commuter student, like classes usually end around like the latest is like 5 or 6 or something like that. So you have like a good chunk of time between that if you wanted to like work on assignments, meet with friends, like utilize your time and those free times. Like sometimes I'll be exhausted, I'm not gonna lie, and I'll take a nap in the library because it just sometimes it's got to be done, but it's really being mindful. For me, it's really being mindful of myself, not pushing myself to burnout, and yeah, utilizing my time and being organized like Emily and I think also Professor Rinaldi said. I'm not the most organized person, but for me that kind of looks like keeping up with my agenda book every couple or so days, just reviewing it, going over what I did, um making sure I kind of have things in order, and then also like having my schedule for like classes and work, kind of like knowing what times I have free really helps me know like what I should utilize that time for personally. And then for time management, if you are struggling, I'm not sure what that looks like at other schools, but at LaSalle, we do have the Academic Achievement Center. So that's a place where we offer free tutoring services to students, but we also offer professionals that help with a range of things. So like studying for licensure tests, studying for major exams, studying for people that just generally help you with literally people that specifically are only there for to help students with time management. And then we also have peer advisors like myself on campus. We're right across from there, but we basically help you. One of our jobs is basically to help students with time management. So there's always resources. You just have to kind of look them out and seek them out. But yeah.
That's wonderful. And I think, you guys explain a lot about the different time management strategies that you use. And I think you probably worked through a lot of them until you came back with the one that really actually helps you. And everybody's organizational pattern is different and we use different strategies, but that's kind of what you do in college, right? You figure out how to get your stuff done and how to mix recreation activities like the clubs or sports or other kinds of activities, and also school and life and work. So I know that a lot of students work on campus too, and we'll have another session on that. But I think one of the great aspects of getting to know about time management and living off campus is that you could have the same life living on campus or off campus, right? In terms of a college life. And, when students work, like for instance, as a peer mentor, like Sabrina, she is either getting, some kind of stipend or pay or credit for it. That kind of helps you to complete your electives. So there's a lot of ways to kind of cover expenses, but also kind of help you complete your classes in a variety of ways by helping each other and building a community. And that's what makes college really special. So let's close out the session by sharing perhaps something that has made your college career kind of special, maybe something that you didn't expect was going to happen in college, and it did happen. And I think, Sabrina, you said I didn't used to participate in clubs and I don't know how it happened, and I do. So I think you kind of got me thinking about that. But my baby, there's another surprising element that happened to you as you came to college that you would not ever have thought you would have done in high school, when you were in high school. What do you think, Emily?
Yeah, so I know for me, I'm part of LaSalle Works, and I didn't think there was like any such program of that. So basically, just like a quick like rundown of like what that program is. It's like this awesome program at LaSalle, and you have these classes that you have to take. There's 4 of them, and they're all about building your like professionalism and like being career ready. Like once you graduate LaSalle, and your sophomore year is actually fully online, and you live off campus, so you basically get like a sense of being a professional and like having a real job, and like you have to work a minimum of 15 hours, so it's not like you have to work a full-time job or anything, but you have a minimum of 15 hours of work your sophomore year, and all of your classes are online, so you have that like work balance and like, you know, work and school balance, and you learn how to deal with both of them at the same time. And I just, that program really has like shaped me like as who I am today. And I love the program. I just feel like I'm so prepared for when I graduate from LaSalle. And the director, she's like amazing, Stephanie Williams, like she's always there to help people in the program. And I just didn't think, because before I went on my sophomore year experience, when I started working, I was working at a trampoline park, and it has nothing to do with my major, which is psychology. And I thought like that was like the best that I could do, like without a degree. And LaSalle Works basically showed me that I could do so much more as a college student, and I could get a job that actually like is connected to my major. And my sophomore year experience, I actually had the opportunity to work as a behavioral technician. So I was working with children and adults on the autism spectrum, and that perfectly relates to psychology, as you can imagine. And so that program really has just shown me how, you know, I should be taking advantage of all of these opportunities that I get from just being in college. And it was just a complete eye opener for me, and has definitely just made me ready to graduate LaSalle and ready to take on the world pretty much. So love the program and highly recommend it.
Wow, thank you for that, Emily. That is so great, because it is true that, you know, when you haven't had that kind of job that connects to what your future career is, actually seniors get very antsy as they're finishing college about what that transition is going to be like, and that's obviously going to be easier for you. So that's really neat. Sabrina, how about you? Anything surprising that has happened in your experience at college that you want to share with our high school mentees?
Um, I think the amount of internships that I've had and jobs that I've had has been very surprising. Like I said, I wasn't ever like very involved in high school, and I never really participated that much. But I think I was so LaSalle, through the education program, you have to have an internship, and they help you find and they place you at an internship. But I actually pushed myself to find my own a few times, which was really an interesting process, and a few jobs that were related. Like I co-facilitated at a nonprofit that provides free tutoring for students, for middle school students, which is really interesting. Um, so that's just like an example, but yeah, just the amount of experience that I've gotten has been really, really fun and really interesting, and really like a big confirmation of that, like I want to continue in education. Yeah.
Oh, you're muted, Claudia.
One of the connecting thoughts as you were talking, Sabrina, and before the dogs barked, was that, you know, your role as a mentee, it also allows you to kind of connect your education preparation to your classes. And you know, you're a secondary education major and you'll be working with high school students. So mentoring in this program has allowed you to actually connect that too, but mentoring your peers also. And oftentimes we don't think about different options and careers, but for Sabrina now having the mentoring experience, in a college, she could always look for college jobs working as professional tutors, or, you know, in some kind of student affairs experience as well. So those experiences, like just like the ones that, you know, both Emily and Sabrina shared, kind of start shaping opportunities that come up in your life. So I think I want to thank you both. I know Edna has something to say, and I'll take away the dogs out of the background. I want you to know how grateful we are that you share your experiences. There are students out there that really need to hear what it's like, and sometimes even the simplest things really provide somebody a little seed to kind of begin their own journey. So thank you for that, and now I'll pass it on to you since.
Because you have to move the dogs. Yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys for sharing what you said about your strategies in time management. Clearly you have different ways of doing it. Like Sabrina gets really early in the morning. I wouldn't be able to do that, just to show up and just, spend time organizing my day, so to speak. But then Emily has her own whiteboard. So I really think that those are key things for our high school students, so they can see that, hey, I don't necessarily have to just have a whiteboard. I can have an agenda. Well, I hadn't thought about, getting to school earlier if I can. So I really appreciate you guys sharing those little things about your regular day, and sharing that despite, the time that sometimes we feel like, oh, I don't have this, there's not enough hours in the day. You're showing us and showing the high school students that, hey, you can actually do this. You just need to be organized, whatever that might mean to you, and how organization can be used in your specific case, but try to be it. So I really appreciate that. I really thank you, because I know that when we show this to our high school students that are part of our Pathways to Diversity program, they're going to be able to have a little bit more of an insight of how to do that, and how from two students that are completely different but are the same, you're sharing the same stuff in your own way, but you're different in terms of how you organize yourselves. And I think that's the beauty of the diversity pathways, so to speak. So thank you guys so much, and we'll see you again soon.
Ladies, thank you so much. This is a lot of fun. Edna will share the link, and we might put a little snippet on our LaSalle Education Facebook page, if that's okay. Would that be okay with both of you?
Yeah.